not on. Welcome to the, who's laughing? The July 1st meeting of the Parks, Recreation, and Community Services. Could we have roll call, please?
Commissioner Bennett?
Here.
Khan?
Here.
Rockfogle is absent. Sharkey?
Here.
Ward?
Here.
The agenda for the July 1st, 2009 meeting was posted on the bulletin board outside City Hall and on the City of Glendale's website on Thursday, June 25th, 2009 at 1 p.m. Item 2, Commissioner Staff Comments at 2A Parks Foundation Update.
Somebody doing
Foundation Update?
Good morning.
Welcome, George.
Good morning, George. Good morning.
Tension breaker.
I thought actually Chairwoman Sharkey was going to do that, but I can certainly give a Commission Foundation update. Would you like to do that, or would you like me to do that?
A commission update?
The Parks Foundation?
Oh, on the foundation. Oh, is
Yes.
that what? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even see that. The foundation update. We are now officially foundation as of July 11th. So our official name is Glendale. Do I have it right? Parks and Open Space Foundation. And so we're quite excited. So the next step is we have a meeting to discuss the bylaws and to elect some officers. I think we only need 2, and then get together again with an attorney. I think we need an official kit that we are, and so that's it. So
Great.
we're moving along. So sorry about that, George.
That's okay. Caught me off guard, too.
Who is we? Who is we?
We, as former Mayor Carl Raggio, Tony Tartaglia, let's see, Mark Sturdivant is the staff part of it. I've gone blank. Stephanie Landrigan, and who am I missing? Rick Dinger.
Oh, okay.
That's the
And
core
me.
group, yeah.
And Teresa. How do you say that?
Alexanian, yeah.
So it's a great group. It's just some terrific leaders in our community have graciously become part of this foundation. So I couldn't be more delighted. So.
And I believe you're working on mission statements, that type of thing, and it will get expanded later on?
We have a draft mission statement.
Which is?
Does anyone? I don't have it in front of me.
Well, you don't
I
have
just
to.
completely got thrown with this.
Okay, sorry.
So I was having trouble downloading, so I apologize. I didn't have anything until today. So, all right, next 2 staff comments.
Just a budget update. I'm sorry, I can give a budget update. As you all know, we finally adopted the budget. In all, we lost 11 vacant positions, and that was spread across the department. There were several in the park maintenance section, several in recreation, several in administration. So all told, 11 positions. Right now, if the budget stands, we'll be okay. You'll see a certain level of maintenance maybe down a little bit. Maybe we won't get to as many programs as we used to, but we're maintaining. We don't know what's going to happen with the state, as you know, and if the state continues taking money away from us and the negotiations with the bargaining units changes, then we may get impacted again. So just be aware that, and we'll let you know if we do get impacted at some point. But right now, the budget has been approved, and we'll be okay at this point. No one was laid off.
Good.
We did change the ranger program and then converted 2 of those rangers to the naturalist positions.
Good. Thanks. Any commissioners have any?
I have one comment. I know that the Department of Water and Power is proposing restrictions on the use of water in those acts, on our parks. Have we taken a look at what it's going to do as far as affecting some of the sports fields in the parks? I know we have a lot of artificial grass facilities, but we also have natural turf that...
Yeah, it's funny you should mention that. Mike Garcia and I talked this morning about the ordinance, and we're going to take a look at the ordinance and schedule some time with Water and Power in terms of how that affects us. But in all of our projects, we're looking at reducing water usage. I know Gary's doing a number of projects that will reduce water usage. We talked about, and I think Shahin may be talking about Griffith Manor today, about water reduction and how the new plant material and new landscaping is going to reduce it by about 25% of what we
That's
currently use.
substantial, yeah.
Right. It is substantial, given that I think we use about 2.8 million gallons of water over there a year. So we are looking at all possible reductions at this point. We'll be getting a list from Gary, too, in terms of what we've done so far in terms of converting areas to mulch or other low, what would you call it?
It's either turf that's either better suited for the area, taking turf out that's only aesthetically pleasing, not necessarily usable, changing it into mulch. It looks just as nice. Making the irrigation changes to just water the trees in the area and not worry too much about the ground cover or turf in that area and letting it go by itself. Adding either wood chips or bark, something else maybe as a ground cover, and letting it go that way. We've done, I don't know, about, I don't have the list with me, but about 15 or 20 sites actually throughout the parks. We're just taking areas that just are no good for usable turf and just changing it out. And that's what I find is the biggest savings right there.
And the goal is what, I believe, 15% initially? Or have they, I don't think the council's taken action on it yet. So.
I thought it was 10%.
10%.
That could be wrong.
Right now,
10%?
10% right now. I guess they're going to go to 3 days a week watering for your landscape is what it appears to be.
Proposed.
Yeah, and that's what's proposed, and probably take effect, I guess, around August 1 or thereabouts. And I don't see it as a problem, personally speaking. I think they can save 10% easily. But you just have to be smart in doing it. And you don't necessarily have to go to artificial turf to do that.
And we're very cognizant of it. Just yesterday at the City Council meeting regarding Griffith Manor, they asked about recirculating some of the water that's in the splash feature. So we're going to come back and look at that as well. So all of our projects now have to look for ways of saving water.
Anyone else?
Yeah,
Rodney.
I did. On a completely different topic, I know a few weeks ago there was boxing at the Civic Auditorium, and we had a presentation made to us, and I just was curious on how that went, how the event took place, and was it successful, and the impact in the area, and all the other good stuff.
I can turn that over to Brittany, and I can tell you about, I think, Commissioner Ward and I were both there. So we could. You want to get?
Sure. President Sharkey and members of the commission, the event went fairly well. I think that the attendance might have been slightly lower than what the promoter was anticipating. But overall, we had no major incidences or any disruptions. The police did not report anything to us that was of any concern. They did have some recommendations for us to maybe make modifications in the future. But I think overall, the event went fairly well. There were no major traffic issues. The crowd stayed relatively calm. The promoter at this point, we've been trying to figure out whether or not they think that there may be, whether or not they want to do additional events in the future. And our promoter recently, his wife had a baby, so he's focusing on that and said he would get back to us. And wanted to look at what his bottom line was and how well he did once all the expenses came in. But he considered the event a success because it was, his goal was to bring boxing back to Glendale and the city that he lived in and help promote some local fighters. And so I think overall it was a win for them and a win for us. And then time will tell whether or not they want to do additional events.
How many people, you said it wasn't as well attended as they hoped?
I think they had about 75 to 80% of the crowd that they anticipated. The different bouts throughout the night had different levels of attendance, but they did have a maximum seating of approximately 1,200 available seats, but at any given time it was between 700 to 800 individuals.
And my perception of it was he had different tiered seating, so I think some of the most expensive ones were $65 or over $100.
Yeah.
But the difference between the seats in the back and the front really wasn't that great.
Large of a
You could
difference.
see great, and every seat in the house was really a good seat. So I don't know what people paid, but
I was impressed on the crowd. It was a mixed crowd. It was not young, not old, and quite a few women. I mean, it was a complete good mixture of Glendale watching the event. It went very nice. We stayed the whole time. Yeah, I took a group of 4.
Yeah, I waited for the news press on Monday morning, and it was like, make sure nothing.
I think we all did
There
that.
were a lot of precautions. I mean,
Yeah.
the staff, and hats off to Ross, and who was it from the police department?
Tom Lorenz
Tom Lorenz.
and Officer Rodriguez,
Right.
Oscar Rodriguez.
Who has a boxing background.
Oh, yes.
there's a
he's
lot of
here.
talk.
Yeah.
There was a lot of preparation in this, a lot of meetings, so they did a good job. Great job.
Good. Thank you.
No comments? Okay. What's next, please, Ira?
Item 3, introductions and presentations. 3A, recognition of Forrest Barker.
And I will call up Carolyn Fuentes, our Community Services Manager, to recognize Mr. Parker.
Good afternoon, President Sharkey, Commissioners. I am Carolyn Fuentes, Community Services Manager for Human Services Programs. Today I'd like to share some information about one of our free senior services that I don't think many people in our community are aware of, and also introduce you to a longtime volunteer who has provided enormous benefit to our community. The Adult Recreation Center was recently honored by the Center for Healthcare Rights for being a host site for the Health Insurance Counseling and Advocacy Program. This program provides free counseling for Medicare and health insurance related issues. If you have ever helped a relative or a friend select a prescription drug plan under Part D, you can understand how complicated this is, and that the difference in which program you select can really literally mean thousands of dollars. Well, HICAP provides volunteer counselors who assist individuals understand their Medicare benefits, select prescription drug plans, and make informed choices about long-term care. And as far as volunteer counselors go, Glendale has one of the best. Mr. Forrest Barker has served both Glendale and Burbank for 19 years. He has the ability to take very complex Medicare rules and put them into plain language, but more importantly, he puts his clients at ease and helps them feel in control of their health care choices. But Forrest has a long history of service to our community. While he taught engineering at Los Angeles City College, he and his family spent 2 years in Malawi developing a technical college under the U.S. Agency for International Development, I learned. Upon retirement, he knew he wanted to stay active and vital in the community, and he found the Center for Healthcare Rights. It's a nonprofit organization here in Los Angeles whose goal is to make sense out of Medicare. Forrest and his wife Carolyn, who is here with us today, live in Burbank and have been married for 61 years and have 4 children. And we are very fortunate to have this valuable resource to offer our community in terms of the program, and we're most fortunate to be able to work with Forrest on a weekly basis. And so I'd like to introduce Forrest to you and have him come up, and I think he wants to say just a few words.
Come on up.
Thank you very much. I'm overwhelmed. Well, what I really would like to say is express my appreciation and appreciation on behalf of the Center for Healthcare Rights and to the City of Glendale for providing a place that I could meet clients. And, of course, all through the years, staff there, and more recently, Carolyn, staff and volunteers have received the calls from the people who want to see me, and they've made appointments for me, and that's been very, very helpful, and I'm extremely grateful for all that. Thank you very much.
And Forrest has a brochure about his services that's available at the ARC, and I'll give each one of you of that as well. If the public would like more information about this program or would like to make an appointment with Forrest, they can call 818-548-3775. Happy to take any questions you might have.
What a wonderful service. I can't think of anything more helpful. So thank you so much.
I forgot to say one thing.
Oh, go. Please, go on the mic.
Yeah. Any chance you get, please help get the word out that the service is there, because, we probably don't see as many people as really need the service. Thank you.
Okay. Use that. We have that on tape.
That's true.
It's a wonderful service.
The first baby boomer who will be eligible for Medicare is in January 2011. So I think we're going to start to see Forrest's schedule fill up in the next year.
So I hope, is that your wife's name? I hope she keeps them nice and healthy for all this. Okay, Iris, but
Item 3B, Senior Olympics.
Well, Sevag's going to come up. I thought it was Carolyn. Sevag will come up and introduce the winners of the Senior Olympics.
Good afternoon, President Sharkey, fellow commissioners. My name is Sevag Garabedian, and I'm the Community Services Coordinator working at the Adult Recreation Center. And today we're joined by 5 of our Olympians, our champions. On June 16, 6 seniors from the Adult Recreation Center participated in the California State Senior Olympics, organized by the Pasadena Senior Center. And of our 6 players, all of them medaled at this tournament. So I just wanted to introduce them. The first place winner for his age group and category was Mr. Patatanyan. Second place was Ashod Melitian. Another second place winner was Andranik Noshadian. The third place winner was Khudat Muradian.
What are their events in?
They're all
events?
billiards. All billiards.
now we're getting serious.
Join us. And tournament sportsmanship champion was David Oganesian. And they brought their medals. I just wanted to come up and take a picture with them and have all of us congratulate them. They work really hard throughout the year. They had a special tournament over at Pacific Community Center, which is where they're playing while the ARC is under construction. And they won their own tournament and had the opportunity to represent the city at the California State Olympics.
So how many gold medals is this for Mr.
Let's see.
Patatanya?
How many?
Saying he's first place every year.
Nice.
Humble.
He's
Let's
saying
get a
he's
nice-
been volunteering since 1991, and he's been placing first since. So
Let's get a nice picture.
To build a room for all his trophies.
Yeah.
Go down and get your picture.
Should I get up there? I don't know.
What's the age for Senior Olympics?
it starts from 65, and it ends at Mr. P's category of 89.
Hold on. I want a picture too. We should send this to the newspaper. Not the one with me in it.
Why not? Should go, we should say.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's Colin coming in.
Okay. We have.
At 3C, we have proclamation designating July 2009 as Parks and Recreation Month.
And at this time, I'd like to call Karen Fries, our Community Services Supervisor, up to the podium. Karen is our resident Queen of Fun. And she's here today to provide our commission with some insight into all the great things we have going on.
She's taken that since
gentlemen.
Leona Helmsley died. She is now the Queen of Fun.
President Sharkey, Commissioners, good afternoon. July is really an important month for us. Every year we celebrate July as Parks and Recreation Month, which is celebrated nationally. And in celebration of that, we always have a lobby display here at City Hall, and I don't know if you saw it coming in today, but this year's theme is a map to adventure and highlights some of our parks and programs. And as part of July and Parks and Recreation Month, we'd like to invite all of you, as well as the community, out to some of our summer programs. And Brittany's put together a wonderful slideshow of some of our upcoming events.
Yeah.
Our first is our summer moonlight movies, and those are held on Friday evenings, free of charge. Palmer Park, Pacific Park, Verdugo Park, and Montrose Park, and we've got the dates and locations and the titles of the movies. All of these begin at dusk, and they're absolutely free. And so we invite the community to come out with your blankets and beach chairs and enjoy a wonderful evening under the stars watching first-run movies.
Karen, in case they can't see the dates, where can they call?
They can call actually our front office number, which is 818-548-2000. And all of this information is also available on our website at www.parks.ci.glendale.ca.us. A lot of dots in there. But we also have all this information available in our leisure guide, which is also available at a number of our park locations as well as online.
And these are all very good movies.
They're wonderful
I've seen
movies.
most of them.
24th, Iron Man.
Our next is our summer concert series, and this is held at Verdugo Park on Wednesday evenings from 6:30 to 8:30. And again, we invite everyone to come out, bring a picnic dinner. We do have some tables and chairs available, but a lot of folks enjoy also bringing out blankets to sit on or their beach chairs. And our first concert actually begins next Wednesday with Verdugo Swing Society, and then we have a series of concerts every Wednesday after that through August the 5th.
No Elvis.
No Elvis this year. We also are offering theater in the park. Shakespeare by the Sea, Love's Labor's Lost will be held on July 30th at Glen Oaks Park at 7 p.m. As You Like It will be held on August 6th at Pacific Park at 7 p.m. And this is a great touring group. It's absolutely free. They put a wonderful spin on their performances. So it's really a fun family event. We also have Show of Support Productions on July 12th at Bram Park. They are doing a USO show this year. So singing, dancing, a lot of frivolity, and again, geared for the whole entire family. We are offering summer camps, and we do have quite an array of camps for everyone to choose from. We have 4 general day camp options at Brand Park, Dunsmore Park, Verdugo Park, Spar Heights Community Center, and Pacific Community Center. We also have 2 art camps, a visual and performing arts camp, 3 sports camps this summer in soccer, tennis, and skateboarding. And then we also have a counselor and training program for our preteens, 12 to 15 years of age. They can apply for that program, and if they're selected, they do help us at the Verdugo Park location. We also have our aquatics program, which features swim lessons and recreation swim, actually for all ages. And we had 2 Saturdays of registration time, and a lot of the classes are already full, but there are some openings. So if you're still looking for swim lessons for your children, you can go ahead and call our sports complex office. Actually, our aquatics number, I believe that's 818-548-3375.
Where is that pool?
I'm sorry?
Where's the pool?
I think that was Hoover. Was that Hoover or Glendale?
Glendale.
Let's see if we can go back.
Hoover?
We have 3 pools that we use throughout the
okay.
summer. Glendale High School, Hoover High School, and CV High School.
Oh, thanks.
Right.
And then we also have our wading pool program, which is for the younger children, free of charge, open from 12 to 5, and we do have alternating dates. Brand Park, Wednesday and Friday, Palmer Park, Wednesday and Friday, Glen Oaks Park, Monday and Tuesday, Dunsmore Park, Monday and Thursday, and then Fremont Park on Tuesday and Thursday. And we also have the wonderful option, if there's anyone looking to have a special party for your smaller children, they are available for rent. And so that's always a popular thing. We want to let the public know about that as well. Our lifelong learning classes some have already begun, but we still have openings, and we have those for all age groups, both visual, performing arts, painting, sculpture, just about a little of everything. And the good thing about our lifelong learning classes is they are offered a variety of times and days, so most everyone can find at least one class that fits into their schedule. Our therapeutic recreation program is Club Maple and the Get Fit program, and those are for adults with learning disabilities, and they are offering quite a few special events and excursions this summer. And the person to contact for that would be Pam Cook. Her number is 818-548-3798. And our senior programs, my goodness, Savag was here, and he could tell you so much about what's going on at Spar Heights, the ARC, and Pacific Community Center this summer. But we are offering excursions, special events, and special luncheons. And I believe the next luncheon coming up is our July 4th celebration. And finally, last but not least, our cruise night event will be held on Saturday, July 18th, and I'm hopeful that all of you received your VIP passes already. And this year is special because we are celebrating the 40th anniversary of Woodstock. And so we're going to be, yes, we're putting on our tie-dye shirts and taking it back to 40 years ago. And
You're leaving the leafy products at home?
Yes, I will be leaving.
Just bring a few candies.
The really wonderful part is we're having Shauna Na come out this year as our headliner act, and they actually performed at Woodstock, which I didn't know about, but it's going to be really a fun concert. We're also bringing out the Four Preps and the Jan and Dean show, which will be a review of a lot of their music. So fun times. We have over 450 cars. The admission is free of charge. All of the restaurants and merchants will be open. And as always, we're getting hundreds of phone calls about this event. So we're really excited and look forward to another wonderful evening. Again, that's July 18th, 5:30 to 10:30 p.m. on Brand Boulevard. And that's kind of an overall recap of what's being offered. Any questions?
It's like a fun month.
Lots
of activity.
Yeah.
If I can just add one more thing, because of the weather, just for the seniors that are watching, we do open up the cooling stations once the temperature hits, I believe, 95. So our senior centers are open, Spar Heights, ARC. So anybody listening, if there is a senior out there living out there by themselves, if it does get hot, we do have those community centers open as a cooling station.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
So we encourage them to go attend there, and we have activities and lunch there as well.
Is it open just during the week, or is it 7 days a week, or how does it work?
ARC is 7 days a week.
ARC is open 7 days a week, and then as needed at Spar Heights, based upon the weather.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. We
Very
look
nice
forward to seeing all of you out
presentation. Thank
there.
you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Karen.
Thanks, Karen.
Okay, oral communications.
Yes, item 4, oral communications.
We have one. Colin Bogart. Hi.
Hi. President Sharkey, Commissioners, good afternoon. My name is Colin Bogart, and I'm with the Los Angeles County Bicycle Coalition, working in partnership with the City of Glendale on the Place Grant Safe and Healthy Streets Plan project. And as you may recall, we had a history ride a couple of months ago, and sort of to serve as a reminder that although we've been focusing on the bike side of things for a little while now, we do want to remind everybody that there's always been a pedestrian element to this project. So we wanted to do an event that was for the pedestrians this time around. So I have a slide to show all of you, and for the viewers at home as well. We are doing a Glendale History Walk. This time, again, in partnership with the Parks, Recreation and Community Services Department, along with the Glendale Historical Society and the LA County Bicycle Coalition. We'll be conducting the History Walk on Saturday, July 11th, 2009. We will be starting and finishing at Chess Park, right across the street from the Alex Theater. Meet at 9 a.m. For more details, people can go to the website I have set up, www.la-bike.org/Glendale, or they can call 818-334-9731. I should mention that people who are going to be driving to the beginning of the event, They can park for the first 90 minutes for free at the Orange Street parking structure, which is right behind Chess Park. For anybody who's riding their bike to the event, there are bike racks on Brand Boulevard in the immediate area. There's also a large bike rack just inside the main entrance of the Orange Street parking structure as well. We expect this to be a roughly 2.5-mile walk. We expect it to take about 2 hours. And we encourage people to wear comfortable shoes and bring a little water along as well. So if I may, once again, people who want more information, la-bike.org/Glendale, or they can call 818-334-9731. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
What are we going to see? What, Alex Theater.
We're going to start with the Alex Theater. I kind of like to leave it a little teaser, come and see what we're going to show you. And of course, you are all invited to attend as well. I can tell you that we will be starting with the Alex, and then we'll be heading east. And then we'll work our way back west, and we're going to be staying to the downtown area.
Okay.
But you have to come to the walk to find out what we're going to see.
Very interesting.
And I should add that Mark and I and Colin are going to be meeting, so I think sometime next week to actually look at creating walking maps for Glendale residents who want to do this or other historic walks. So it's exciting. We're excited about it.
Yeah, there's a lot of culture down there. There's a lot of...
There's some things I could probably think of. So.
Well, yeah, the Masonic Temple has to be real high on your list, I would think.
Yeah. Well, anybody who has anything to add along the walk, feel free. We had people adding. We had people adding to the ride as well. People had comments about some of the sites that we visited during the ride, and so it would be great if we got more of that this time around as well. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody have questions? No, we're okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, Iris.
Item 5A under consent items, approval of the minutes of the Commission regular meeting held on June 3rd, 2009.
Everybody okay with any?
I didn't have any problem with it.
Your motion?
I'll move to accept the minutes as submitted.
I'll second.
Commissioner Bennett?
Yes.
Khan?
Yes.
Rottfogel is absent. Sharkey?
Yes.
And Ward.
Yes.
Okay, item 6A, business agenda, action items. 6A1, motion to cancel the Parks, Recreation, and Community Services Commission meeting of August 5th, 2009.
I'd like to move 6A1
So impressed.
without discussion.
We don't have a quorum. I'll second that.
Commissioners Bennett?
Yes.
Khan?
Yes.
Rottfogel is absent. Sharkey?
Yes.
And Ward.
Yes.
Have to find something to do in the afternoon.
I know.
Do we
Call
notify
Steve.
Commissioner Ruffogel or no?
Yeah.
Just let him show up.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Item 6A2, naming of the park at Cedar and Harvard. 2A, motion recommending to council that the park be named Glendale Heritage Garden.
And I will call up, I'll turn it over to Dave, but again, just a reminder that this is just a recommendation to the City Council, and they ultimately have the say in terms of a naming of a park. But Dave Ahern, our Project Management Administrator, will take it.
Thank you. Members of the Commission, the report before you provides a recommendation to name what we had been calling Cedar Mini Park or Harvard Cedar Mini Park with a name that reflects the Heritage Garden. That is a key component to that. And the project manager for that project is here today, Lila Batar. The name Glendale Heritage Garden is what staff is recommending, and our process is to recommend it to the Commission. If the Commission supports that recommendation, then we would take a report to the Council for the Council's consideration in naming the park. And again, the name is derived from the garden component of that mini park, which is unique to that park in that it was part of the history of that site. So many of you are familiar with it from the groundbreaking and prior reports on it. If you have any questions, I can answer them for you, or Lila, who is much more expert on it than I, can answer them.
Other than Dave Ahern Park, what other names did you think about?
That was the only other one.
You like that so much you couldn't go beyond that, huh?
Worth considering. So I think we've just always referred to our mini parks by their location. And Windsor Mini Park, Palmer, or Harvard Mini Park, and in this case, it has a unique quality to it. So, and the garden piece is really, along with the bungalow, have been what has really distinguished this, and from other mini parks, and the active services that will be there, the youth outreach program, and that. So,
I actually like that we're naming it. I mean, to me, it makes a lot of sense. You said in the staff report, one of the things is it's a little bit larger of a park than our typical mini park is. Mm-hmm. And then also, you mentioned the gardens, and then you lastly mentioned the historic Craftsman bungalow that was restored. And like you said, we all went out there, and it looks beautiful. So I would think that this name is very fitting for that park. It makes a lot of sense, at least it does to me.
And if I may, I think we toyed with a number of names, whether it was Cedar Mini Park, Cedar Heritage Mini Park. It wasn't just, let's just name it, Cedar Heritage Park. We did toy with a number of names. We thought maybe this most fit what was there at this point. But, of course, it's open to any suggestions you may have. But were there any other names, Lila, that we talked about that...
President Sharkey, Commissioners, good afternoon. We basically looked at Cedar Heritage Garden, and that was one name in January of 2008 we proposed to Council at that time. And I'd like to give the Historic Society credit that they recommended the Heritage Award. That's really also credit to them. I think the names that you mentioned generally. And Cedar Mini Park. And again, it's larger than a mini park, so that seems to not be fitting.
So it's Glendale Heritage Garden, not Cedar Heritage Garden, correct? Glendale.
Yes, what we would like to recommend
I think
is
Glendale incorporates the whole town.
right,
It's the
right.
town park
Right.
because it is so.
Yes.
It's a very special park.
Versus the street
So you're
address.
right. I'd say Cedar. It was one of the names we considered, was Cedar Heritage Garden as
Heritage
well.
Garden, correct. That's what we recommend.
I thought maybe you were going in a different direction.
That sounds appropriate. That's a very nice park.
Yeah. I like the city, not the street. Yeah.
I think it's a real compliment to the park. I think it's a very prestigious name, so I like it. So. Okay, does anyone have a motion that we're recommending it to?
I'd make a motion recommending to the council that the park at Cedar and Harvard be named Glendale Heritage Garden.
I'll second that.
Okay. Commissioners Bennett,
Agree?
Khan,
Yes.
Rotfogel is absent, Sharkey,
Yes.
and Ward.
Yes.
okay. On Park.
On to the next, please.
Okay, at item 6B1, monthly activity reports. The first one is Park Services.
Mr. Morello?
Thank you, sir. This is highly unusual. I'm going first. So
That's because I forgot you last time.
it's quite all right. And I just have a quick update on the status of some projects that are not routine maintenance that Park Services has taken on over the last 6 or 8 months. And I'm go through them pretty quickly. We have a bleacher installation process going on. We have installed 10 new bleachers at Shoal Canyon, and then we hired a contractor to do the other ones. He's just about completed with all new bleachers that Brittany has bought last year from our yard. We have the ball field banner program, which we've changed a little bit now. We're going to be the sole proprietors of the banners, meaning they'll come to us, whether it be a sports group or whether it becomes a Nestle's or any company out there that wants to come to us to put a banner up. We will take the money in or take the application in, and if the sports groups come to us, it'll be a revenue sharing program. If a regular company comes to us, it'll be the Parks and Recreation, and we will take put the banners up, take the banners down, and secure the areas for them during the year. And we've got several, got a 1 month, a 3 month, and a 6 month fee schedule for prime locations and subs. So we put this out to the sports groups and have not received an answer back yet. But as soon as they get back to us, we'll have another meeting and determine exactly what they can provide and what we can provide. We have the waterless urinals program going. We're putting 2 more in Section 1, which is the north side of town. There's already 2 on the east side and the south side. So we decided to put 2 up there, and as soon as now the July 1 has come, we're going to be buying in about 20 or 30 of them right up the front and make that a priority to install. Save ourselves about 14,000 gallons a year. And there's also a rebate would involve with each one of them up to $400, and they only cost me $265. So it's actually
get more.
It's a benefit, yes. The holiday lighting that we do on Brand Boulevard, we're going to put out the contract for the Brand Boulevard holiday lighting, but we're working with community development or redevelopment there. The merchants would like to have those lights up all year, which I'm not opposed to. Number one, it will substantially reduce the contract for taking down and the breakage that when they take them down. And there'll be LED lights, which they won't cost nearly as much to run. So if they'd like to run them all year round, and we're waiting for the merchants to kind of get together to see how that pans out. But we're going to write it as if we're going to take them down and put them up, and then revise it after that if we get their input. Doggy walk bag dispensers, almost all been replaced now. He's got 20 more to go. We're using those little shopping market bags instead of those powdered, prepared bags that they gave us for so much extra money. Those are done. The chess park, we took that over now from the contract maintenance. It was about $1,400 a month that we were spending, and we've been able to knock it down to zero. And do it ourselves, and call in the canvas cleaners only when we need them. But we've been able to garner staff from certain areas. We've stopped watering interior plants as one for the city hall and libraries, and those people that have broke loose from that will be doing that washing of the chess park. We did look at Sin Lawn, which is a artificial turf. Give me a second for a personal editorial here. I did not like it particularly a lot, but there's other ones out there that we're still looking at, and we may do a demonstration in the City Hall plaza of different artificial turfs for the public. I think for the public it works well, front yards and that kind of stuff, but I have reservations about the park system because it just goes against my grain, I guess, so to speak, more than anything else. But it didn't seem to be as inviting as real grass would, although I understand the water concerns everybody has. So, again, it's something that may be coming for the homeowner. The Glen Oaks Median Mulch Project is completely revamped. They wanted between $57,000 and $63,000 per island to do that. So I'm going to be redoing the scope of work and get it rebid, so maybe it can be reasonable, because that puts it into about $500,000 for all those islands on Glen Oaks Boulevard, and it doesn't make sense, and because it is recycled water out there too. So I'll be saving maintenance costs and recycled water costs, but for that kind of money, it's way high. So we'll be doing a rescope of the work, so changing it around, maybe not doing as much, and then maybe city workers or some of my own crew doing some of the irrigation work, and just have the company who does the mulching come in with their people and do that. And then finally, which you'll get a small presentation, PowerPoint on the next commission meeting in 2 months on the Stengel ball field renovation, the big one we've got going. That starts. The spray out is on July 20th. We're going to be killing out all the grass. Then the first week of August, we're going to be renovating it out and taking all the sprinkler heads out The company will then come in the next week and do a laser grading. We're hoping the next week after that we put everything back together so it's all has good coverage and the grass will take. And then the final week of August, we're hoping to have Pacific Sod come in and lay a hybrid Bermuda grass down, just under 100,000 square feet of Bermuda grass. And hopefully that we'll have another 6 weeks after that to have it root and grow. And then also, if there's money available, I'm looking about screening off all the fencing in the entire outfield. Put up the green netting. The fence is not is in structural good shape, but doesn't look real good. And I think a green netting across the whole backside would look a lot nicer. So we're going to try to do that. So if you have any questions.
I had two questions. You might have answered them in the past or spoken of them in the past, but since you usually speak at the end and you've lost us by then, I'll ask them again.
Okay.
But for the mulching part, you mentioned that the islands were very expensive to do. What was so expensive? Like, why is it much higher than you thought?
It was the labor to remove the soil, the grass that was there, and I feel that we don't have to remove it now. I feel we can renovate it down to dirt and just let it sit there that way, and then put the mulch on top of that. Also, the material that they're using, the mulch, the pea gravel, and the bark, for some reason was marked up. It seemed to be about 6 to 8 times more than it should be marked up. And if the city were to do it, if we had the manpower to do that, we have the material to do that because of our tree section. They're more than happy to dump mulch anywhere I would need it. So that's a big benefit for me in that sense. Sure. That's where I get most of my mulch right now anyway. Or a company will come in and take one of our trees down, shred it into mulch, and it becomes, I just take it where I would like to have it. But the mulch areas were somewhere in the neighborhood of $24,000 for one island.
Couldn't you require the contractor to use your mulch?
That's where the scope is going to change about where they get their mulch, and I want their labor. Because I really want their labor. I have the materials, or I have most of the material I can probably use, and if they can come in and supply the labor for me and bid me that, and then I'll do the sprinkler changing. And we're not going to take the sprinklers out. We're going to cut off the ends of the islands where there's no trees and readjust the sprinklers that are in the middle of the islands to a quarter head instead of a half head, so they water underneath the drip line. And I think I can save myself about 75% of the water that's out there right now. And of course, the maintenance cost would go to zero because there would be nothing to mow or edge or blow off, for that matter. I'm hoping that with the rebidding that it'll work out better.
So, and then thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second was, you were talking about the water-free urinals and how we're actually to the positive, I guess, once you do it. Are we putting those in all of our facilities now, or how is that?
As many as I can possibly get. Some of my facilities have troughs, which are make it a little more different, or difficult. But I can cap off the intake or the inlet pipe and take the trough out and add 2 or 3 in their. They just attach to the wall is all they do. So there's no plumbing that's necessary at all for these. So I'm hoping to do all the ones that are singular right now, and then I'll go to the trough ones after that and see if I can add 2 or 3 or maybe 4.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, any more comments? Okay, Iris, thanks, Gary.
The next monthly activity report is Recreation and Community Services.
Brittany Bellotti?
President Sharkey, members of the Commission, I will be very, very brief because we highlighted so many of our programs at the beginning of our meeting. But to highlight a few items, we're seeing an increase in the use of our parks, obviously, because summer is now here, the sun is out, and people are wanting to get outdoors. So we are seeing an increase in our monthly revenue for our park and picnic shelters, and we do continue to see an increase in revenue for our civic auditorium. So with the success of the boxing, we actually had a promoter in the past who did a concert. a concert at the Civic Auditorium, and that promoter, now seeing the success of the boxing event that we had and seeing that we had taken a look at our rates, has called us back and is now interested in doing definitely one, possibly two pop concerts. Some kind of, I guess they're popular teen singers. I'm not in tune with the teen music industry, so I wasn't familiar with the artist, unfortunately, but I think a little bit more palatable for the community. The last concert we had was a rap concert, which there was some mixed feelings about, but this one, being kind of a pop rock and a little bit more of a teen heartthrob, should probably be a little bit easier going. But that's nice to see that we are getting, on a regular basis. Laura and Ross are telling me, oh my goodness, we're getting so many calls, and so it is nice to see the numbers turning around a little bit. It's very positive. And then also, just to let you know, for our summer programs, we had our first movie this past week, and we had over 175 participants at Palmer Park. That it was just as large and successful as our other movies, so that was very promising. And our day camp enrollment is up and almost full at this point, which is a really good, healthy sign for us. We weren't quite sure what we were going to see with the economy, if we were going to be getting that. But I think one of the nice things about our program is that we do offer such a wide variety of levels of programming for parents, that they can choose a half-day option, an all-day option, a camp that goes on field trips, or a camp that does not go on field trips, and those are offered at various price ranges, so the parents can kind of choose the program that best fits both their needs and their price range. So that was very positive. This is the highest enrollment we've had for our first week of summer that we've seen in several years. So we'll just keep our fingers crossed and hope that the trend continues.
Right.
Probably fewer vacations, maybe.
Yeah, probably.
That's true.
And our camps are a cheaper alternative to the other private camps as well.
Oh, right.
Yeah, people are staying in town.
Well, we're doing very well. Nice. Iris.
The last monthly activity report is CIP projects and park rangers.
Mr. Ahern.
Members of the Commission, we're going to give you a brief update on two key projects that we're working on currently. The first one is Griffith Manor Park, and you'll recall we brought that to you, I believe, 2 months ago, and showed you the concept plan that had been approved by the council. Since that time, we've been working on developing the next phase of plans for that, the design development phase. Shahin Bagumian is our project manager on that, and he successfully got council approval yesterday and redevelopment agency approval, since it's funded by the redevelopment agency, for the design development drawings for the project. So Shahin's going to give you a status update and show you where we're going. We're making good progress with this project, largely attributable to his hard work.
Okay. Good afternoon, President Sharkey and the Commissioners. Are we going to the slide? Okay. I'm going to give you a brief update regarding this park, what we've done, and where we're heading. The first slide, again, the image on the left, it shows our existing park, and the image on the right, it shows the approved concept plan, which, as Dave said, we brought it to your attention on March 4th. Then we went to City Council on March 17th. We received their approval and received their approval to sign a contract with the consultant on March 31st to sign a contract and start the construction drawings. On the next slide, I will show you our master plan. The only thing that's different with this concept plan, we had to remove the tot lot from here to that open space that we had on our existing playground, so we'll have more room to put, the water play. So this is the final master plan that we're working off. Again, as you can notice, the tot lot has been moved there, so we can have a bigger, water pad area. I don't know how good that is, but we have a larger water play area. We have our 6 shade structures with picnic tables, our community building with a secured patio on the back, so Brittany can use it for for birthday parties and so forth. As we showed, we have the parking lot, we have the basketball court there. Wrought iron fencing in front of the park. We're going to have all the way wrought iron fencing with the sliding gate and a pedestrian gate. On the west side, we decided we are going to change only the chain link fabric. Due to that, we don't know what is going to be happening with the Disney. They might put their own, wall. If they do so, and then we'll remove their chain link fence, and we can use it somewhere else. So we are not going to spend too much money on the west side, as far as the securing the park. But we'll have a brand new chain link fence, and on the back we have a fairly new chain link fence that is going to stay as intact. So basically, the park will be secured. The next one, this is the building. It's about 2,400 square foot building. The community, the all-purpose room is about 1,400 square feet. We'll have the electrical room there. We'll have about 400 square feet of maintenance room with the restroom on each side. The shape of this building, as you can see, I think the consultant tried to bring some of the history back, because years ago we had an airport there. And all of the surrounding buildings, they were aircraft hangars. So all of those buildings, they have this kind of a roof. So I guess we're trying to bring some of that history back. We've tried to use as much as we could, as green elements, which we have, recycled metal roof panels. We have solar tube lighting on this side of the building. So during the day, the restrooms, the maintenance rooms, we won't use any kind of electricity, because we'll have enough lighting there due to the solar tubes. We will have clear-story windows between the 2 roofs, so during the day we'll have enough lighting for the community room. So again, we won't have to use any kind of electricity during the day. We have sustainable CMU design. We have upgraded roof and wall installation. We will use recycled wood for cabinetry and the framing. We will use low VOC paint and bonding compounds. We will have dual flush toilets, waterless urinals, tankless water heater, and occupant sensor lighting, and energy efficient HVAC system. So hopefully we can, we're up there as far as the green goes, as much as we could. What else in here? That's what it on this slide. This is the color board, the roofing, the CMU, the block walls, and the clear-story windows, glass, the colors. This is those mushroom, solar tubes that I was talking about. That Gary, he says it works. He has it. He's used it in his place, and it works apparently. So they promise us that we don't have to use any kind of a lighting during the day.
That's right.
This is the monument sign at the entry point. This is what we want to do. We will have lighting all around, so at nights, the sign will be lights all the way on top. The sliding gate, and and the pedestrian gate entrance to the park. The tot lot, during our community meetings, the community was asking to have some sort of a, shade structure on top of this tot lot. And because we are not touching to existing play equipment, so we want to go with the same manufacturers. We will have same manufacturer equipment in the park. So this is what they offer as far as the shade structure goes on top of the tot lot. So this is what we're using there. So it will be, the kids, they can, it will be shade while they're playing. Water play. Water play at this time is sort of a hold. We're going ahead with the construction drawings for the building, for everything else, except the water play, because yesterday the council directed us to come up with some sort of a design so we can capture that water and the runoff water for the park and reuse it on the irrigation. I'm working on it. We're working on it. So hopefully next time I can give you some more detail, what we want to do, whether we'll have enough funding or we need more money. So next time I can, I can give you a better idea what is happening for that, the usage of that water.
Great idea.
Thank you. I hope I can, we can do it though.
Sure you can.
This is the shade structures on each picnic shelter that we have. Again, it's got the same kind of a roof, shape as of our main building. And this is the arbor that we might change this design because I think council didn't like this design, so we might even change it or not having it at all because it's a pretty expensive item. And the furniture, this is recyclable again. Benches, the basketball item, our standard basketball, hoop, AD approved, picnic tables, and the trash bins. Again, the trash and the cans and the papers. Now, this is the suggestion from the consultant, drought, resistant plants. He's suggesting all different kinds on the next two slides that hopefully when the time comes in the next couple of months, we'll pick and choose with Gary to know to which ones to put there so we can save, as much as we can. As we speak, as we're going to save probably about 20 to 25% of this irrigation water, because the numbers that I've got from GWP last year in 2008, we used 2.8 million gallons of water there. So 25% of that is quite a bit, it's a big number that just by changing the irrigation, put a new system there, new head there, we're going to save at least 25%. And with less, drought tolerant plants and just a bit less green area because we have just bit less green grass in there now. So hopefully we can save, more water and we can keep everybody happy.
Just to note, I think a lot of that use also is the mature trees there. Is what
the mature trees right there, yes.
Established trees would need a lot of water.
Yes.
They don't need a lot.
They do.
They do.
So maybe we can, come up, if we can come up with some sort of system so we can use that splash pad water, we can just somehow pipe it so we go and, just water those trees. But again, at this time it's an unknown. For me, it's an unknown. So, we got to do some homework to see, what kind of a system we can design so we can, capture all that water, take it to a tank, and then have some sort of a pump there to go out and, use it, pump that water for irrigation.
Yeah, but I think it's going to be smart irrigation, smart system that drips where it needs to go and not waste a lot of water. And I think they're going to be working with Gary closely on it.
The water from the splash pad you're going to use to irrigate, through a cistern or something? Or are you going to use that water and recirculate it for the kids? Then you have to chlorinate it.
Two different scenarios. There's one scenario that we can recirculate that water, the splash pad water, like a swimming pool back.
Right, it's like a pool.
That thing is going to cost probably about $150,000. But the problem that we have on that monthly maintenance, it's a huge number. It's a big number for Gary because somebody has to go there every day, once a day, to measure the chlorine. It's like a swimming pool.
Right.
But if we go with this new system, so we can grab that water and more runoff water, and somehow feed it back to the
It's like a cistern and putting something underground
again,
in big tanks.
Right.
It's easier said than done. I got to find out who's been doing it, what city's doing it, so
LA's doing this.
Maybe Gary can comment. Didn't you talk to several cities who had that system where they chlorinated it?
Yeah, the ones that had the system that chlorinated for the recycling on the children that ran through they were estimating somewhere between $20,000 and $30,000, $40,000 a year, and just in maintenance. And they were specifying one person to go to every place that had those on a weekly basis to check on those because the valves have to work properly all the time. So the recycling for the children, for the kids, was not a good one for maintenance anyway, and I'm not sure.
Once every day, not once a week, every day.
Well,
that's what
and
they
once,
told me.
yeah, but they would have to tear it down, and then of course the filtering system got clogged up, and once that happens, you have to stop, and you have to dump your whole tank out if that happens, and then your tank is now rendered useless because you have to dump it all out and start all over again with clean water. So health department regulations and whatnot were really bad. And we thought that wasn't really the way to go. We thought maybe if this way is much better to irrigate with it, then you have less problems.
Treat it as a gray water type thing.
Correct.
Right. It'll be
It's gonna
interesting.
take away
And it
from
works
other
out. Seems
things.
it works out virtually the same thing. You're going to have to water, and so it's basically like reclaiming that water, except it's a different use.
That is correct, except that to put it through the irrigation system is probably the biggest challenge we're going to have.
Members of the commission, in order to do that, we've got to treat it and then use it as irrigation water. So we can't just use it directly. We're still going to have to treat it. So either way, we're going to have to come up with a system. Otherwise, the code currently requires us to take it right to the sanitary sewer. So we're, as Shahan's explained, we're exploring what systems we can use, and they're in use in other cities, to treat the water and then reuse it on site, and there's a cost for that. But cost isn't the only factor in these things. Part of it is going green and being a leader in that area, and council's given us direction to bring them back options for that. So that's what Shahan will be doing for the next week. If you're looking for him, he'll be going green.
Although even though the cost it may not be a factor at this point, it wasn't budgeted, so if it is extra, we'd have to go back and ask for more money.
Oh, okay, that was my question.
Right.
Do you have the money for this? Because there's so much
Right, not at
for
this
the park.
point. Not at this
So
point.
you would go back and ask for more money?
Members of the commission, we would take it back as
options. Yeah.
as an option for the council before we get to the final construction
Right.
drawings, because we'll have to make decisions about that in the next several weeks. In the meantime, concurrent with that, don't want to leave you with the wrong impression, we're still moving ahead with
Right.
design on the rest of the park, so these things are happening concurrently.
And one of the options may be we just don't go with a splash pad. We are building a pool.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So that could be an option.
That's my opinion.
Did we save anything on that arbor? They said that the arbor, the council wasn't...
The arbor is about $35,000, and so the
every penny.
purpose of that really isn't to provide shade. It creates a separation element, so there's different ways to do that, and
I mean, I like it. I like the arbor, but...
it's handsome, but it's not in the same architectural
Right.
style as the other elements. And so we'll look at other options, and Shahan's come up with several ideas on other options. Some as simple as maybe putting in some small trees
Some
or
trees.
shrubs
I mean,
to
we have
create
so
that.
much mature trees, and there's so much shade in that park. Because that arbor that you saw is going to cost us somewhere close to $35,000. So
That's a lot.
we can put a couple of small trees instead of that shade. So
Putting aside the water feature, I mean, it's nice to hear all the different sustainable design items and then the drought-tolerant planting and things like that. I mean, it is true. I think someone was saying, I think Dave was saying about kind of taking a leadership role in that. I was reading the little magazine that we all get,
Parks and Rec?
yeah, National Parks and Rec thing, and they were encouraging just what you just said, that if the city, especially in the Parks Department, we are green. We are the green department more than any other department, takes the lead, certainly sets the standard. So it's nice.
thank you.
Any more questions?
Very nice.
Nice presentation.
Thank you.
Good job. And our second project that we'd like to give you an update on is one that you've also just recently been out to see, and that's the Adult Recreation Center. We've been under construction on that project for several weeks now, beginning with the demolition of the existing structures on site, then clearing and grading the site, and the contractor on that is Hopkins Construction, a local firm, first class firm, and they're doing really a fine job. And Hagab Kasabian is our project manager on that, along Shahan has also been working on that, assisting Hagap as has Shantoro. But Hagap is the lead, and he's been the lead on this for several versions of the design over a few years, and now he's getting it built. So he'll tell you about that.
Good afternoon, President Sharkey, members of the Commission. We started this project end of April of this year. April 27th, to be exact, is the date the contractor moved in and the fence went up. Here's a shot of the site pre-demolition. Again, just to give you a quick idea, we have Brand Boulevard on the west, Colorado Street on the directly south, Louise, and Harvard. And this is the Central Library, the Masonic Temple, right there. And pretty much this is our site. This entire block right there, which is about 3 acres. And starting with the demolition phase, the week of the 27th is the week that we started demoing some of the trees, putting up the fence, demoing the concrete, and all the concrete that we demoed, including the brick, everything was saved on site, was crushed and reused as the fill material, so it wasn't anything that we took out. Obviously, some of the green waste we had to take out, the steel, aluminum, everything went to their specific sites as the city had specified, and we had basically specified that in our spec documents. So that was one thing we were cognizant about, to make sure the contractor was taking all that material out to where it was supposed to go. I just have several shots of going through, demoing the building, and directly to the right of that machine there, we've got the tennis courts. He's actually parked right on top of where the old tennis courts used to be, and that's the area right in front of you there was the old shuffleboard area.
Oh, I see it.
And this location right there is the old pool room, which is not there anymore. Some of the items that we encountered during demolition, and this is pretty typical of a lot of construction projects, some of the unforeseen conditions. We had, once we started digging in and over-excavating to grade our pad, we ran into some clay pipes which led to a seepage tank. The seepage tank was about 15, 17 feet deep, about 5 to 6 feet in diameter that we came across. We had our soils engineer look at it. They assessed it, and basically we came back, we slurry sealed it, we filled it up, and he gave us the direction to go ahead and move forward. But I just have the shot just to show you some of the old clay piping that was there probably since the 1940s, 1950s when the site was developed, possibly even before that, when I believe Glendale High School used to be at this location, if I'm not mistaken, long time ago. But I could be off on that one. Other item that we encountered during our demolition phase, I'm going to go back a picture. Right where I pointed out earlier, the pool room that was here, there used to be an existing building foundation slab that this building was built on top of. And that was something there was no way to sort of foresee it. When we went in and started removing the slab, about 6 inches below that was another slab that was hidden that we had to take out as well. So some of these items do come up during a construction project. This picture basically just wanted to show we did take protective measures. We have 2 oak trees that remain on site. This is one of them. We went ahead, we trimmed this oak tree, we've protected it with the fence per city requirements, and these hay socks basically are for our SWEPIs, which means it's the Stormwater Pollution Prevention Plan. And these socks went all the way around this entire fence. We've had a city inspector that comes out to the site, the SWEP city inspector, about at least once a week, sometimes twice a week, to make sure no dirt is leaving the site or we don't have any mud that's being carried out with the trucks out into the streets, going into our storm drains. We've protected basically the storm drains along. We have a storm drain right at that location at the intersection of Louise and Colorado, and we have another one across the street from it. We've gone ahead and protected those with fabric material, so we don't allow any of that dirt and the mud going in there. Here's a shot of the big machinery that we had on site during our the excavating and the grading process. That's the Armory building, and we're looking southeast in this shot. The building, basically the building pad is more or less in this area. It might be a little off. It's kind of hard. I mean, I'm there every day, so I know exactly what I'm looking at. But this gives you just an idea of, we had to dig up about 5 feet of that existing dirt, bring it up, remix it with the concrete that you see all here. This is all the concrete that we had on site, including some of the brick. We had a pile stacked here. We had another pile going along this direction, and all that got mixed in with some of that dirt, recompacted, and built up to where the pad will be eventually. We obviously needed some dirt to come into the site as well. The dirt that we had on site was enough to build half of the building pad. We imported soil as well to build the rest of the pad to bring it all into the same level. Here's a shot of the building pad as it stands today, fine graded, and some of these lines that you see in there, basically those are the trenched areas for footings, the curbs, the foundation, more or less. And the shot that we've taken is a shot that's been set up on a temporary power pole, and this is where we have our time-lapse camera. It's taking one shot every day at 3 p.m., and by the end of the project, we're going to have 460 pictures, 470 pictures, which we can basically frame out, and it'll give us a nice short movie. When we were walking the job site, there was something that George said, Mr. Chapchin mentioned, have you guys thought about putting up a camera, a time-lapse camera? And we actually thought about putting something here as we had spoken originally, but then we realized once we were ready to set it up right there, the building was going to go up and all we were going to see is one wall. Luckily, the contractor started putting in their temporary poles, and we were able to use one of the temporary poles that they have and take these shots.
I want to take more than one per day, do kind of a 5-minute video. 60 shots not going to give you a lot.
The only thing is, not a lot changes between, say, morning and night. And we spoke with our GTV6 folks, and Tor's recommendation was if we take one in the morning and one at night, we're always going to see the dark and the light. So when the picture is the shift, we're going to see it. This is one shot that we're taking. If I may, I'll go back to this. We're actually with the contractor. We're going up to this building, so we have a shot from the opposite end that we're taking as well. And that shot is being taken about once a week to twice a week, so it's a little less. In addition to that, Sean Toro is going to be flying with our police department and taking aerial photos, about once a month as well. So we'll have this pretty well documented. Here's the trenching process, which started about 3.5 weeks ago. They're trenching the area for the rotunda, and this is another shot of trenching and setting in the main electrical conduits. That's our electrical sub right there.
How deep does that have to be? Electrical conduits?
This conduit here, we actually had to dig in about 8 feet because it's at the highest point, and it's the main line that's coming in from the transformer. And per city requirements, it's if where he's standing and where they're standing, there's a 5-foot difference, and then there's another 3.5 feet to this point. The photo doesn't really justify it, but he's at an elevation of 5 feet higher than these guys. And the conduits go down this way and turn to go back in that direction. They turn west and go into the main transformer room. Here's our main sewer line that's basically heading out towards Louise, and that's been laid in as well during the trenching process. This is basically serving a set of the bathrooms. the forming of all the curb, the walls, the foundation with these school brackets. And this is something really neat. With these brackets, they set them in. They can lift them up vertically. They can slide them horizontally, depending on how high you want to make the wall, the curb, or how wide you want to make it as well. So it's a really neat piece of equipment that they have here. And we had about 348 of them on site to form our entire project with this. Here's a shot of the concrete pour, which was last Thursday, the 25th. And there's the pump truck with the long pump that's basically reaching out to the northeast portion of the building. And we have and this shot, by the way, is taken from that building, as I had mentioned. It's the opposite shot of what we have with our time-lapse camera. And here's the concrete pour. All the curbs, the footings were poured in one day. And we were lucky. We had real good weather last Thursday. It wasn't sunny. It was nice and overcast, which helped with the concrete process. Then the sun came up just in perfect time, about 12:30, 1 o'clock, when they were just pretty much done with the first go-round. We've had... this picture reminds me, we do have a soils engineer. When we brought all the soil into the site, we've had a soil engineer on site full-time, inspecting, taking soil samples, making sure everything that we have that's coming in is per the soils report that was put together. We did have some dirt that we wanted to bring in from different sites, was tested, was not approved, it didn't come in, but everything that we have here has been tested, the compaction has been tested, it's over 95%, everything that's been compacted, which means it's real solid. Everybody's really happy with the compaction of this, of the pad. We also have a deputy inspector, the lady right here, she's our deputy inspector who came, inspected all the rebar, all the forms, all the templates for the steel columns. These are the templates right there. We have some templates right there. So everything was inspected pre-concrete pour, and during the date the concrete was poured, she was there to make sure we don't have any trash, we don't have any dirt, nothing. Everything was pretty much clean and ready to be poured. This is pretty much, I think this picture was taken either Tuesday or Monday. And that's the rotunda area. And this is more or less the main entrance into the building. That's the rotunda and looking straight out into our outdoor courtyard. And the forms have been removed. And
that's the Armory, the building right across from the Armory, isn't
That's
it?
the Armory building, yes.
Looking south.
And this is the one, that oak tree that we've protected. We've got another one on the opposite side to that. And I have an aerial. This is an aerial that was taken by the police helicopter. This aerial was taken just before we had the concrete pour. So they had all the forms in place, and Dave had put in a call, and I think within a few hours they went up and they took those shots. Here's one of the best shots that I have, and again, we'll keep getting better shots. We'll have shots that are looking directly down onto the site. And pretty much you can tell, I mean, with the way these forms are laid out, it gives you a line of what the building is going to look like. The main entrance, the rotunda, that's the main multi-purpose room. This is our kitchen right there. The upper courtyard, the lower courtyard, which would be right here. We've got the gymnasium, I mean the pool, the billiards room, the gym, the smaller multi-purpose room, and so on. And everything else that you see on this side will be all turned into green area, including some of this area. And right there where my arrow is pointing, that would be our outbuilding, which has the 2 restrooms that serve the park, the trash enclosure, the maintenance building, in addition to the transformer pad. Yes?
With that photo, can you show them where Phase 2 is of this project?
Phase 2, this is the bungalow, as our recreation staff would like to call it, and I promised I won't call it anything else. So this is their bungalow, and this is the existing meals building. Phase 2, this, while I'm talking about Phase 2, I'll give you a schedule update on this as well. We started on the 27th. The contractor's schedule is very aggressive. We plan on finishing Phase 1, which is everything included in here, by summer of next year. And Phase 2 will basically, everybody will move in from the Meals Building and from the bungalow into the new building. We'll fence off this area. This building will be removed and returned back to William Scotsman, where we're leasing it from. This building will be demoed, in addition to a small portion of the old clubhouse building that we have will be demoed as well, and all of that would be graded and seeded and turned into our green space. And that project will be completed in about 3 to 4 months, which would be fall of 2010. So the entire project will be ready, and we'll be ready to celebrate the grand opening by fall of 2010. And we should be ending up with this, which is a sketch that was put together a couple of years ago. That concludes my presentation, and if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy.
The front is where on Louise? Where?
This is Louise.
Okay, that's what I thought.
This is Colorado.
Got it. Okay.
And the library is basically sitting in this sort of dark area right there.
Okay.
This only shows you Phase 1. Phase 2 is pretty much from this line, drawing a straight line across and going back. That's Phase 2 right there.
Thanks. Huge project.
So, sounds like so far you haven't had very many surprises. I mean, that slab was a problem.
The slab was a surprise. It wasn't a problem at all. I mean, it was just something that came about, and we were able to take care of it right away. And the seepage tank that we found was another surprise. Other than that, knock on wood, everything has been smooth. The contractor has been very responsive, and they've been on top of things. And obviously, we're there every day along with our inspectors, with city staff, city inspectors. Everybody's been very helpful. We are being helped by Public Works, their survey team. So everything that we have, everything the contractor has surveyed, our Public Works survey team has been coming back and verifying their points, the pad elevation, to make sure whatever the contractor had done is basically is accurate, and everything has been
measured twice before you cut. Right?
Exactly, it's cheap insurance basically, and that's what we've done. We've had Gary Etzel come out, give us sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Just sort of courtesy inspections. And all the other city inspections from Public Works, everybody's been very responsive, very helpful. Whenever we've needed them, we've called them. They've been out to the site and helped us out. And this is, I mean, it's a city project. It's not just a parks project. We want to make sure we're doing something right for the city, for the community. So we're all involved in it. And
we talked about this as an important project, and we don't want anything to go wrong with this project. So we are overly cautious.
It's great.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Agua.
Thank you.
Iris, do we have any written?
No, we don't have any written communications.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Yes. So moved.
All right. Thank you. See you in September.
Thank you.